Okay. Okay, so let's get started. I can't wait any longer because I'm afraid my computer might die soon. So let's get started. In the previous two lives, we talked about, in the first live, we talked about the obstacles that we all face when we learn a foreign language. And also we talked about the importance of discipline and consistency. Remember that if you have to have consistency to achieve a goal, to get where you want to be at in the future. And also yesterday on our second live, we talked about a strategy that I call diving deep and how to consciously immerse into the language and what you can do to dive deep and learn from it. And also I always focus on communication. So you can speak from the very first day. Most students like to receive the information all the time through listening and reading because it's easier, because these are passive um, skills. You read and you listen. And I encourage my students all the time to produce new language with what they learn. So yesterday we did this exercise with the Fera Ferida song so that you can continue doing it, right? So you can learn the vocabulary and the verbs and also produce new language with that. And today we are going to focus on pronunciation, and it's going to be very practical, and I want you to join me, and I will be asking you to repeat with me. So I want you to recognize the differences between sounds in Portuguese. We are going to talk about the accent. Lots of students ask me about those little signs that you have over the word sometimes. We're going to talk about that as well. And also nasal sounds versus the oral sounds that we do, because Portuguese is very nasal, right? And most students have difficulties with that because, for example, Spanish, it's not that nasal. Actually, it's the opposite. So some students may feel difficult sometimes to differentiate one word from another. And today we have screen sharing, just like the master classes. So just give me a minute to share it. Okay. All right. You can see that, right? Awesome. So, unlocking your Brazilian Portuguese Live 3. We're halfway through the challenge. And today we're going to talk about pronunciation, a huge step to communication. And why did I decide to bring this topic to our challenge? Because it's very important that you pronounce correctly so you are understood when you are communicating. Remember that our focus is communication. And in order to communicate properly, you've got to pronounce words and sentences properly. So I brought here some letters and some words that I want to work with you guys that I feel that most students struggle with. So first, listen to me and how I pronounce them, and then we are going to practice together. So we have already studied the alphabet in the master classes. So I suppose that you know the alphabet already and the name of the letters in Portuguese. Here we have J and G. J and G. And most of the times, they have the same pronunciation or very similar pronunciation. For example, viajar, so we pronounce with j, j, viajar. Fugir, the same j sound, okay? So in this case, they are similar sounds. Viajar, fugir. Hoje, hoje. And it's very interesting if you pronounce the words while I say it as well on your own. And then afterwards, just repeat after me. And then afterwards, I will invite you to speak so I can correct your pronunciation, okay? So, viajar, viajar, fugir, fugir, hoje, hoje, and watch out not to say hoje or viajar or fugir. No, there is no the G sound. It's the J sound, okay? So, hoje, proteger, 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 nojento. Nojento means disgusting. Nojento. So, nojento. And we are going to see this sound as well. Gen, en, very nasal sound. En, nojento. E monge, monge. So all these words, they have the same pronunciation in the J and G sound letters. So you just have to watch out in the spelling, if it's with J or if it's with G. And right here, I want you to pay attention to this. Because when we have GA, GO, GU, they are pronounced differently from GE and GI. So we've got ga, go, gu, ga, go, gu. And here we've got G, G. It's not gegi, it's G, G. So this is very tricky and some students mix them up. So just remember this, A, O, U, ga, go, gu. And if it's E and I, G, G. All right? Okay, so Linda, can you repeat with me, please?
Okay.
So here we've got viajar.
Viajar.
Ótimo. Fugir.
Fugir.
Ótimo. Hoje.
Hoje.
Yes, and the H in the beginning of a word is never pronounced. Okay, so hoje. Proteger.
Proteger.
Ótimo. Nojento.
Nojento.
Ótimo. Monge.
Monge.
Yes, yes. And you see that when we have verbs in infinitive form, and what is that, Yuri? All the verbs that finish with AR, IR, or ER, the R at the end is never pronounced. So viajar, fugir, proteger. You don't pronounce the R at the end. Ok? Marcela, repete comigo, por favor. Viajar.
Viajar.
Ok. Vi.
Viajar.
Yes, exato. Fugir.
Fugir.
Hoje.
Hoje.
Proteger.
Proteger.
Perfeito. Nojento.
Nojento.
Monge.
Monge.
Perfeito, Marcela. Muito bom. Tomás, repete comigo, por favor. Viajar. Yeah, you have to unmute your microphone. Awesome.
Viajar.
Fugir.
Viajar.
Fugir.
fugir,
hoje,
hoje,
proteger,
proteger,
nojento,
nojento,
monge.
hoje,
Ótimo, ótimo. Nádia. Nádia, you there? Okay. Jessica.
Sim.
Viajar,
Viajar,
fugir,
fugir,
hoje,
hoje,
proteger,
proteger,
nojento,
nojento,
monge.
monge.
Ótimo, perfeito. Oh, any questions until now with these two sounds? No. Yes,
¿Qué
Marcela.
significa nojento? ¿Nojento qué es?
Nojento em inglês é disgusting. Nojento. You know, I don't know how to say in Spanish. ¿Cómo se dice en español?
Que no gusta.
Sí,
Puede ser
sí.
eso, que es
Alguna cosa que
desagradable.
no te gusta es desagradable, sí.
Desagradable.
Sí. Oi, Jéssica.
Obrigada.
De nada.
O sotaque em São Paulo e pessoas falam viajar, não?
Sim, sim. Todas essas palavras elas vão ser pronunciadas diferentes de acordo com o sotaque. Então, por exemplo, pessoas de São Paulo podem pronunciar viajar, fugir, proteger, certo? Da mesma forma que pessoas do sul do Brasil podem pronunciar hoje, hoje. You see? So, but most accents in Brazil, they pronounce like hoje or viajar. Even there are accents in Brazil that pronounce viajar with the r at the end, you know? So it's fine. They are also correct, you know? But here I won't focus on all the types of different pronunciations, but I will focus on what is the most used. So if you feel comfortable with one type of accent, it's okay. If you, okay, it's just fine. So, and also we've got O and E, or yeah, at the end of words. I want you to pay attention to this because when O and E come at the end of a word, it's not pronounced as O, IE. It's pronounced as U, I. For example, monge, it's written with E, but it's pronounced with I, monge. Passaporte, it's written with E, but it's pronounced with I. Hoje, magro. We don't say magro, even though there are some accents that do, but most of Brazilian accents say magro with U at the end. Nojento, alto. So when you see a word that finishes with E, you pronounce with I. If you see a word that finishes with O, you pronounce with U. You got that? Linda, repeat with me, please.
Sim.
So we've got monge,
Monge,
passaporte,
passaporte,
hoje,
hoje,
magro,
magro,
yes, nojento,
nojento,
alto.
alto.
Yes, and watch out. The L is pronounced as U, au,
Alto.
alto. Yes, alto. Not alto, alto.
So magro and alto sound different to me when you say them.
Magro,
Magro
yes,
and
alto.
Okay.
Magro, alto. Eu sou magro e alto. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Marcela. Monge. Marcela?
Sí, repito.
Monge, sim.
Monge.
E Marcela, então, todas as vezes que a palavra terminar em E ou em O, você pronuncia. Terminou em E, você pronuncia com I, monge. Terminou em O, você pronuncia com U, magro. Ok? Então vamos lá. Passaporte.
Passaporte.
Hoje.
Hoje.
Magro.
Magro.
Nojento.
Nojento.
Alto.
Alto.
O L é pronunciado como U, au, alto.
Alto.
Exato,
Alto.
Marcela, perfeito. Exato, certo? Alto.
Certo.
Tomás, vamos lá. Monge,
Hoje.
passaporte,
Passaporte.
hoje,
Hoje.
magro,
Magro.
nojento,
Nojento.
alto.
Alto.
Perfeito, perfeito. Oi, Christian, tudo bem? Seja bem-vindo. Ok, any
Oi.
questions?
Obrigado.
Ótimo. Então, palavras que terminam com EM. Words that finish with aim. This is very confusing sometimes to students because they tend to pronounce the M at the end. M. No. In Portuguese, we don't pronounce the M at the end of words. Never. We turn it into a nasal sound. So, what does it mean, Yuri? Viagem. I don't say viagem. No, viagem. There is no the M sound at the end. So we turn it into a nasal sound. Viagem. Can you see me? Like, can you see me? Yes. So pay attention to my mouth, like viagem. It doesn't even close. My lips don't even close to make the M sound. So viagem, bagagem, Belém, aim, it's nasal. It comes from your nose to your throat. Aim. All right? So, Jessica, repete comigo, por favor. Viagem.
Viagem.
Yes. Bagagem.
Bagagem.
Garagem.
Garagem.
Também.
Também.
Belém.
Belém.
Armazém.
Armazém.
Yes. Armazém is warehouse. Okay? Yes. Good, good. Christian. Christian, can you repeat with me? Nadia, are you there?
Sim, sim.
Ok,
Oi.
Christian, vamos lá. Viagem,
Viagem,
bagagem,
bagagem,
garagem,
garagem,
também,
também,
Belém,
belo,
armazém.
armazém.
Yes, yes. Muito bom, muito bom. Linda,
Sim.
viagem.
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 Oh, viagem.
Yes, the stressed syllable is A, because here we've got 3 syllables, V, A, gen. The strongest one is the middle one, viagem.
Viagem.
Yes, bagagem,
Bagagem.
garagem,
Garagem.
também,
Também.
Belém,
Belém.
armazém.
Armazém.
Yes, yes. Okay, so always remember not to pronounce the M at the end and turn it into a nasal sound, aim. Okay.
So what is the significance of the accent mark between these words if they are pronounced the same?
Okay, they're not pronounced the same. The
I was trying to hear the
part,
difference.
the em part is pronounced the same, but the accent is not related to pronunciation in this case, but it's related to the stressed syllable. So you see that all these words that have this accent, they stress the syllable is the one which this sign is upon. So também, Belém, armazém. The strongest is zen, lém, e bem. However, these three, they stress the syllable is not the one with em, it's the previous one. That's why it doesn't have the accent. Okay?
Entendi.
Ótimo. Ótimo. So this is very good information for you that Linda just asked. This, even though these accents, they can change pronunciation, it indicates they stress the syllable in a word. You know which one is the stressed syllable, which is the strongest syllable. Okay, good, good. So now, R e dois R's, A and double R. We've got three different pronunciations for R and double R's. So first, no, actually two. First, R, carro, which is different from carro. So we've got two pronunciations. One, R, you roll your tongue like R, carro. Second, carro, carro. Okay? Arara, arara. Amarra, amarra. Raro, moro. So pay attention to this information. When you have one single R in the middle of the word, like caro, arara, moro, it's pronounced r, r. It has to be in the middle of the word. If you have one single R in the beginning of a word, it's pronounced with raro, raro, okay? And the double R is always, and it's never in the beginning of a word, it's always in the middle. The double R is always in the middle of a word. So carro, amarra. Amarra means when you tie something somewhere, it's like the tie. So tie a knot, amarrar o nó. That's what amarrar is. Okay, so and also at the end of the word, like when Jessica said earlier, it can be pronounced or for example, viajar, pedir. It can also be pronounced like that in some regions in Brazil, okay? So let's practice this. Tomás, repete comigo. Caro,
Caro,
carro.
carro,
Arara,
arara,
amarra.
amarra,
Raro,
raro,
moro.
moro.
Yes, awesome. Arara means parrot. That parrot that keeps repeating. Oh, no, that's papagaio.
Oh,
Arara is
papagaio.
those beautiful parrots, like blue parrots. Have you ever seen Reel, the animation Reel? And you have the blue parrot? That's arara.
Is that
Is arara?
macaw instead of parrot?
Sorry, Linda?
Is the same word for macaw as parrot? I see that translated for macaw instead of parrot sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know what macaw is, but you know, these arara is a bird that's usually blue bird that you find in Reel, the animation. I don't know if you've seen it.
Azul acara. Arara.
Arara. Yes. So,
¿Qué significa arara?
arara, Marcela, é pássaro. É um pássaro, geralmente azul, tem
Sim, sim.
vermelho também, mas bem
Ah.
grandes e são bem típicos do Brasil.
Uhum.
Claro que tem em outros lugares também. Ok?
Ok,
Mas
obrigado.
Aí, o Tomás está mostrando.
Arara.
Arara,
Como
that's...
loro, es un loro.
Sim, arara. Ok, yes, Tomás, that's it. Ótimo, obrigado. Então vamos lá. Marcela, repete comigo. Caro,
Caro,
carro,
carro,
arara,
arara,
amarra,
amarra,
raro,
raro,
moro.
moro.
Perfeito. Ótimo, ótimo. Christian, repete comigo, por favor. Caro,
Caro.
carro,
Carro.
arara,
Arara.
amarra,
Amarra.
raro,
Raro.
moro.
Moro.
Exato. Linda, repete comigo, por favor. Caro,
Carro.
carro,
Carro.
yes. Carro,
Carro.
yes. Arara,
Arara.
amarra.
Amarra.
Raro,
Raro.
moro.
Moro.
Yes. Jéssica, vamos lá. Caro,
Caro,
carro,
carro,
arara,
arara,
amarra.
amarra,
Raro,
raro,
moro.
moro.
Ótimo. Perfeito. Alguma pergunta? No? Any questions? All good? X e CH. Então, X has different pronunciations depending on the word. CH, only one pronunciation, so it's easy to know. So, 3 different pronunciations for X. Exato, with the Z sound, Z, exato, okay? Táxi, with the X sound, táxi. Enxuto, with the sh sound. So 3 different sounds. Z, x, sh. Okay? So we've got exato, exato, táxi, táxi, enxuto. Yuri, how do I know if I pronounce with the z sound, the x, or the sh? Well, you have to know the word. There is nothing in the word that indicates which pronunciation it will be in this case. But so just practice. Practicing, you will find out. Okay? And also CH, CH has the sound of sh, achar, chutar, chover. Sh, achar, chutar, chover. Okay?
Chover, chuva.
Enxuto.
Chuva.
Yes. Chover, chuva. Enxuto means dry. So if something is dry, it's enxuto. It's seco. It's a synonym. Okay? So, Tomás, repete comigo, por favor. Exato,
Exato.
táxi,
Táxi.
enxuto.
Enxuto.
Achar,
Achar.
chutar,
Chutar.
chover.
Chover.
Ótimo. Marcela, exato,
Exato.
táxi,
Táxi.
enxuto,
Enxuto.
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 Yes. Achar,
Achar.
chutar,
Chutar.
chover.
Chover.
Yes. Jéssica, exato,
Exato,
táxi,
táxi,
enxuto,
enxuto,
achar,
achar,
chutar,
chutar,
chover.
chover.
Ótimo. Linda, exato,
Exato.
táxi,
Táxi.
enxuto,
enxuto,
achar,
achar,
chutar,
chutar,
chover.
chover.
Yes, that's right. Christian, exato,
Exato.
táxi,
Táxi.
enxuto,
Enxuto.
achar,
Achar.
chutar,
Chutar.
chover.
Chover.
Yes. Nadia, you there? I can't see the chat. So if you said something on the chat, I'm sorry, but I cannot see the chat right now, okay? So let's go, let's move on. Is everything all right, guys, until now? Yes? Good, good. So, A e L. This is interesting. And I wanted to pay close attention to the pronunciation. Alho, alô. Alho, alô. Malha, mala. Malha, mala. Trabalho, e I'll leave this one for the last one. So, alho, malha, trabalho. And watch out not to say malha. It's not malha. It's not alio. It's not trabalho. Malha, not malha. Okay? This E sound that students usually put in between doesn't exist. It's very short. It's very, very short. Malha, lia, lia. Okay? So, and also the L, just the L, is la, le, li, lo, lu, mala, alo. Okay? So, let me hear you. Christian, let me hear you. Alho.
Alho.
Yes, try to say it very fast. Liu.
Liu.
Liu. Liu.
Liu.
Alho.
Liu. Alho.
Yes, alho. Try to say
Alho.
it as fast as you can, because then you reduce the sound of the E that students, especially Spanish-speaking students, put in between alho. This E, try to say it fast so it reduces and it becomes lhe, lhe. Alho.
Alho.
Malha.
Malha.
Yes, faster. Lha.
Lha.
You
Malha.
know, imagine those karate guys. Yeah. So you try to say those yeah, you know, like without the ya, you say with the ya. So you practice speaking it faster. Malha.
Malha.
Trabalho.
Trabalho.
Alô.
Alô.
Mala.
Mala.
Yes. Great. Linda.
Sim,
Let's go. Alho.
alho,
Malha.
malha,
Trabalho.
trabalho,
Alô.
alô,
Mala.
mala,
Yes. Muito bem. Jéssica. Alho.
Alho.
So, very, very fast, Jéssica. Alho.
Eu não gosto de palavras, as palavras com L. Ai,
Yes. LH.
alho.
Yes. Yes. Malha.
Malha.
Yes. Yes. Malha.
Malha. Trabalho. Trabalho.
Yes. Say it faster. Lho.
Trabalho. Trabalho.
Yes. Yes. Much better. Trabalho. Okay.
Trabalho.
Alô.
Alô.
Mala.
Mala.
Yes. Yes. But you can see the difference between malha and mala.
Uhum.
Yes, yes. So that's an important sign when you see the difference in pronunciation between malha and mala. Okay.
E a palavra mal? Mal?
Mal, I'll talk about this, yes, in a minute, because I'll talk about the L at the end of words. Marcela, repete comigo. Alho,
Alho,
malha,
malha,
trabalho,
trabalho,
alô,
alô,
mala.
mala,
Ótimo, ótimo. Tomás, alho,
Alho.
malha,
Malha.
trabalho,
Trabalho.
alô,
Alô.
mala.
Mala.
Yes. And mal. So when we have L at the end of a word, we don't pronounce the L. We pronounce U, mal.
mal,
Yes, mal. Okay. However, in European Portuguese, they pronounce the L mal, mal. But in Brazil, we don't. So we turn the L into a U sound. Mal. Mal. Okay? Mal, mal, mal. Now, N-H-I-N. So this video will be available for you to rewatch and practice if you want to, okay? So N-H-I-N. Listen. Rainha, nha. So this NH is pronounced nha, nha, whereas the N just by itself is na. So rainha, rainha. And also some parts of Brazil turn these letters NH into a nasal sound, rainha. It doesn't say anything. It's just like the nasal, rainha, you know, linha. So you can find those pronunciations as well. But focus on rainha, nha, linha, nha, pinheiro, pinheiro. Okay? So rainha, linha, pinheiro. Ninho, ninho. Ninho is the nest of a bird. That's ninho. Navio e neve. Ship and snow. Navio and neve. Rainha is the queen. Linha is the line. Pinheiro is the pine tree. Ninho is the net. And navio the ship. And neve the snow. So let me hear you. Jéssica. Rainha,
Rainha,
linha,
linha,
pinheiro,
pinheiro,
ninho,
ninho,
navio,
navio,
neve.
neve.
Ótimo. Christian. Rainha,
Rainha,
linha,
linha,
pinheiro,
pinheiro,
ninho,
ninho,
navio, navio,
navio,
neve.
neve.
Ótimo. Linda.
Sim.
Rainha,
Rainha,
linha,
linha,
pinheiro,
pinheiro,
ninho,
ninho,
navio,
navio,
neve.
neve.
Ótimo, ótimo. Tomás, rainha,
Rainha.
linha,
Linha.
pinheiro,
Pinheiro.
ninho,
Ninho.
navio,
Navio.
neve.
Neve.
Ótimo. Marcela, rainha,
rainha,
linha,
linha,
pinheiro,
pinheiro,
ninho,
ninho,
navio,
navio,
neve.
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 Isso, isso. Ótimo, ótimo. Muito, muito bem. Então, outra dúvida, another doubt, another question, like another thing that students usually ask me is the difference between S and double S. And I want you to write this tip down. When the S is between vowels, every time, every single time, when the S is between vowels, it's pronounced with Z, with the Z sound. Toda vez que o S estiver entre vogais, é pronunciado com Z. Casa. Casa. Okay? Every time. Every time the S is in the beginning of a word, it's pronounced with the S, the sound of S. Saída. Saída. Okay? Every time that you have double S, it's pronounced with the S sound. Amassar. Amassar. And when you have the S before a T, in some places in Brazil, in some accents, it's pronounced with the sh sound, astro, but it can also be pronounced as the s, astro. So, Fortaleza, like in Ceará, like me, Rio de Janeiro, we pronounce astro. Recife, pronounce astro. But São Paulo, they pronounce astro. So both are correct, okay? Astro, astro. And also at the end, when the S comes at the end, it can be pronounced with sh or s, as or ash, okay? It depends on the accent. And also cedilha, this is called cedilha. Cedilha never comes in the beginning of a word, never. It's always in the middle. And it's pronounced s, caça, caça, okay? S, carroça, like a wagon, carroça, amassar. So, Linda, repete comigo. Casa.
Casa.
Yes. Saída.
Saída.
Astro.
Astro.
Caça.
Caça.
Yeah, you see? Casa, caça. Different pronunciation. Carroça.
Carroça.
Amassar.
Amassar.
Yes. Ótimo. Jéssica. Casa.
Casa.
Saída.
Saída.
Astro.
Astro.
Caça.
Caça.
Carroça.
Carroça.
Amassar.
Amassar.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Marcela. Casa.
Casa.
Saída.
Saída.
Astro.
Astro.
Caça.
Casa.
Carroça.
Carroça.
Amassar.
Amassar.
Yes. Any questions? Any questions about this? You good?
Eh,
Awesome.
La diferencia de casa y casa. Pronuncia.
Então,
¿Cómo?
a diferença, Marcela, é que casa é pronunciado com som de Z. Casa.
Casa.
Ok? Isso. E caça é pronunciado com som de S. Caça.
Ah, comprendo.
Então,
Obrigada.
casa,
Comprendo.
caça. Ok?
Comprendo. Sí, sí.
Ótimo. Ótimo. E os acentos, like the accents that you find at the top of words sometimes. So, this is called acento agudo, acute accent. And every time that you see this accent, it's an open vowel sound. This is called acento circunflexo, circumflex accent. And every time that you see this, it's a closed vowel sound. And this is called tio, like uncle, tio, and it makes it nasal. So, for example, mão, mão. With this tio, it turns this into nasal sound. Mão. Alemães, alemães. Okay. This accent turns it into a vowel, open vowel sound. Avó, ó, avó. And this one into a closed vowel sound. Avô, avô. So we've got ó, o. You see the difference? Ó, open, ó, closed, o, ó, o, o. Can you see the difference? Just nod, or just like if you can't see the difference? Yes. O, o. And here we've got e, e. When we don't have any accent over the E letter, it's pronounced E. So we've got E, E, E. E, E, E. E, E. E, E. So, Christian, repete comigo. E,
E,
I,
I,
E,
E,
E, E. Yes, yes. O,
O,
O.
O,
Yes. So avó,
avó,
avô.
avô.
Yes. Avó is grandmother. Avô is grandfather. Okay?
Ah,
Yes. Linda,
Yes.
let's go. E,
E,
correct. E,
I,
correct. E,
E,
E, E. Very
E.
deep sound. E.
E,
So, E.
I,
Again, E.
I.
Better. Now, O,
O,
O.
O.
Yes. Avó,
Avô,
avô.
avô.
Mão,
Mão,
alemães.
alemães.
Ótimo. Jéssica. Oh. E,
É,
E.
E,
O,
O,
O.
O.
Avó,
Avó,
avô.
avô.
Yes. So I've just received a message from my computer saying that my battery is dying. So go forward, okay? Because the electricity is not back yet. But yes, so you all can see the difference, right, between these sounds, e, o, right? And then we'll keep practicing that. So to finish, actually, I brought sentences for us to practice. And you see here, é bem comum no Pantanal a presença de cobras que podem medir até 9 metros de comprimento. So, I want you to realize that when you have this accent here, we have é, so é até, okay? And here you don't have the accent, so you pronounced I, G. É bem comum no Pantanal a presença de cobras que podem medir até 9 metros de comprimento. I wish I had more time now to practice this with you, but what I'm going to do is I will record these sentences, this one and the other one. Os jacarés são comuns no Pantanal, mas só agridem humanos se forem ameaçados. I will record this and I will post on our Telegram group so you can listen to me saying these sentences, and also you can pronounce and repeat. And pay attention to the pronunciation that we studied here today. Os jacarés são ameaçados, and then you pay attention to the sounds. Okay? So, yeah, and that's it for today. Is there any question, anything that you would like to ask that was not clear? Any comments that you would like to make? I'll hear you.
Right?
Yes, Tomás.
So I have a question about an H and an I.
Yes.
For example, España and Polonia.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely don't hear any difference there, but they're saying España, Polonia.
Yes.
Apparently those are two different yes sounds at the end, but I don't hear the difference.
Espanha y Polonia?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the difference? I don't understand actually the question.
Okay, España is spelled with NH, Polonia and I. So is there a different sound there, or is just?
Oh, no. Actually, the pronunciation is the same. There, Polonia. Actually, it's just like when you have España, the NH is like faster, ña, whereas Polonia is like ña. The E in the middle, it's longer, Polonia. But the difference is very subtle, very little. So they're basically pronounced the same, España y Polonia. The N-I-A, nia, and N-H-A, ña. It's just the speed that you pronounce it, you know? But when you're speaking in your daily life, they are pronounced basically the same, España y Polonia.
Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because my wife is adamant that they're two different sounds, but
Your wife is what?
she was adamant that they're pronounced differently.
Oh, no.
The
pronunciation is not that different. There is a difference, but as I said, it's very subtle difference. You know, it's not like a big difference. But there is. If you say Polonia, ña, it's not ña. But it's like I said, it's like this very, very small difference that will never interfere.
He's probably gone. His battery probably died.
Who wants to continue the
Yeah,
class now?
he's a goner for the day. See you guys. Take care.